Alright, well, I tried presenting him all sorts of stuff, but... nah. There isn't much I can do over here in order to progress, so when in doubt, I guess move to other locations. See if we can find some new stuff that will have us progress. I don't know. Maybe go to the underground parking lot? To the prosecutor's office? Maybe Edgeworth came back to his office. I don't know, let's see. Oh. Either it's gonna be Edgeworth, or it's gonna be the bellboy. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is! It looks like he's writing something.
Huh? What are you doing here? Well, that's a lovely way of saying hello, Edgeworth. We're here worrying our asses over you. He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Chill it, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Yeah, well, we don't have much of a choice. Let's talk. Court evidence, tomorrow's trial, everything. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. And that's what it all breaks down to. And nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. Well, I guess it is in our CV at this point. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you're gonna just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? That list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? Well, that's odd. Yeah, I mean... You would think that with a serial killer as Joe Dark, you would have quite a lot of evidence. Especially since a lot of people got killed. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but at the time there was only one thing on my mind. I'd use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty.
Say, when you saw a picture taken around that time?
That picture? Something seemed strange about it. Okay. I wonder about that picture. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes. Just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back?
This.
Oh, yeah! Chief Carl asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. Oh! Did he now? That's the story we heard yesterday. So, you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. Okay, well, let's see about presenting that photo that was discussed earlier. Can you tell us some more stuff? I mean, you were at the ceremony back then, right? This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he had just started making a name for... I apologize, that's Edgeworth. I apologize. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes?
The trophy that Mr. Marshall is holding, it's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. I remember now. And I remember what? That was the official prosecutor trophy used until that time. There's a story behind it.
A story?
Yeah, a story. Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? Yeah, I mean, you gotta tell us that story, man. It's simple, really. Contradiction. And that's what the award is based on. Contradiction, eh? Well, can you tell us about it? Why stop it right there? Just talk to us. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with two characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard the story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake. Very well. You fucking dunce. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with two items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Objection! Those claims contradict each other! Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard the story before, right? Yeah, sure. Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
Ah, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion. Even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
Oh, that's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? Yeah, that's a good point. You have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the harbor part of the word abolished. Chief Gant. Huh. So Chief Gant got rid of the harbor part of the trophy. Okay. I wonder about that. Okay, well, I guess this is what we're gonna have to do as well in order to progress. It took me a while, but we're also gonna have to examine the piece of paper like that Edgeworth thrown when we first came in, like right over here. I wonder what he was writing before.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look.
Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there.
Just distract him. I'll check it out.
Okay. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no! He's falling to the ground! Gumshoe, no! Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. Oh. Shoot. He didn't even look.
What? Letter of...
If you cannot read, I'll read it for you. It says, Letter of Resignation. Letter of Resignation? You're not telling me that you're quitting. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, Mr. Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died.
Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I cannot forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think that he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Huh. Okay, we will talk later, Edgeworth. Like, don't do anything rash. Like, we're gonna talk about this later. Gumshoe! Okay, who is it? Angel Starr.
Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef?
Nah, we're not hungry. We're quite busy right now. Miss Starr, I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kinda like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk.
I never really thought of that. I mean, if we didn't try the cow's nipple, we wouldn't have gotten milk. Alright. Wait, hold on a second. Why do you need to suck a cow's nipple specifically in order to discover milk? You could just drag the cow nipple in order to discover milk with your hand. Are you telling me that the first person that discovered milk actually sucked the cow's nipple and didn't hold it first?
Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago.
Anyone in this trouble was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence on that case was due for transfer. This cannot be all attributed to mere coincidence.
Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness.
The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten.
Huh. You are just not gonna let that go, aren't you? What the fuck is the deal with this? I don't get it. I mean, she would have no reason to lie to us about this at this point. She's investigating the SL9 case just as much as everybody else. If she's telling the truth, then what Starr's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Okay, well, let's talk.
Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Nana Sky. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course they were led by that legendary duo. Nana and Chief Gant. The legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up in our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept a secret. He didn't have proof anything illegal was done. I am proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Sky transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Sky was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter.
Huh. Being used as a pawn, you say? Tell me more. She was being used?
Damon Gant and Lana Sky. 2 years ago, Gant was chief detective, and Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism, in particular, was almost unreal.
His magnetism? You were attracted to him?
By that I mean his ability to attract evidence.
Oh.
He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled.
Incredible evidence? You mean...
Ah, yes. There were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though.
I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Oh, I see.
Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes. Myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked, and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her.
So you looked up to her as well. And that is another reason your hatred runs deep in you.
Why did she have to turn so cold after that?
Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she?
Yes, thanks to Chief Gun's powerful influence. Chief. That's right. Having solved the SN9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office.
What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? So that he would have full control over the prosecutor's office?
If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
I see. So part of the reason why he was able to make Lana Sky chief prosecutor, besides Lana wanting that, is to have control over the prosecutor's office.
But how could he control Lana? I don't know. But one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude. There must have been a reason for a change.
At last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Same here. Thank you, Miss Starr.
You listen to me, Yuki. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been.
Well, no matter the case, we will make sure that tomorrow's main dish will be done at the best of our abilities. We promise you that, Angel Starr. But for right now, let's go back to the criminal's affairs. Gumshoe! We need to talk about this! This is something that you're definitely gonna have to hear. Oh, you're back. Gumshoe! You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ! The DJ?
You're a DJ as well?
Huh, imagine. Fike, it's the Gumshoe, pal? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey.
Ah, that DJ.
Okay, desk jockey. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer is still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It would be my neck on the line. And that office is the last crime scene on the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there.
There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind.
Well, here's something that we're gonna have to share with you, Gumshoe. It has something to do with Edgeworth. You're definitely gonna have to see this. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! Oh, I think he's damn serious. I do have to apologize for this, Gumshoe. But... we have to get in there in the Chief Gun's office. And it's not just for this case's sake, but for Edgeworth as well. So, can you help us? Is he ever not serious? I cannot believe they push him this far.
Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible.
And I can tell that he has been going through a lot. That is why we need your help with this. And I believe that if we can get in the office and get everything that we need, we might be able to solve this, Gumshoe. At first I thought he was as cold as ice. But now I know different. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we just... We betrayed him.
Detective.
That's it. I made up my mind.
But...
Here, take my ID card. Thank you, Gumshoe. I know you wouldn't want to lose your job so easily, but if Edgeworth is involved, you would do everything for him. Even risk your own job for it. I know that we're asking a lot here, but you are the only one who can help us here. You are the key to helping Edgeworth. We cannot do that. If someone found out...
They will let you off the hook with another lost item report.
Well, actually... maybe we could actually say that we stole your ID and you could file in a report. I mean, that would create an excuse in case we are caught. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. Well, if that will happen, then they can just fuck themselves. Plain and simple. This case, this and the SL9 has affected so many people in such unfair ways. It needs to stop. And if it requires us to get demoted just so that we can protect our friends, then so be it. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective. Thank you. Alright. Let's go there and get some cracking. Let's crack the case, or whatever. Let's go. Right now. Let's do this fast.
Here goes, Mr. Wright. Open sesame! If you know what finds us now...
Detective Gumshoe's a goner. Alright peeps, we gotta make it fast. Investigate this room top to bottom, don't leave any traces behind. If that happens, I'm calling on you to bail me out.
Eek!
Ugh!
Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
Well, if you were a ghost, then surely you wouldn't have been able to slap him in the face so easily. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. I don't know. I feel... it would be much safer if you just went out without... Because if Damon Gunn would find you here as well with us, he would know that you are cooperating with us on the spot. And we wouldn't be able to make as many excuses. If you're here, then what's the point of giving us your ID card? Crumpled Gumshoe's ID card in pocket. Hey! Don't do that with my card! I hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now.
You really don't want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we were lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, me too. And something tells me that we're gonna have to talk about some story here first, before we can progress. Even though it's not productive. That desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's?
Yeah, that's why I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gunn's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. Preserving the crime scene? That's a strange reason to leave it there. Right on the nose! He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. I bet that he was asking everyone to go swimming with him, buck naked at the nearest pool, like all drunk.